Hello and welcome to Winter Wellness, the Herbal Way. My name is Leo Sade. It's today a very rainy and chilly day outside, so it's very appropriate to do what I'm doing here. Feels like right on time. I'm Leo. I'm an herbalist. I've been an herbalist for the past 11 years. I started with growing herbs and making products for the last 11 years. So in the summer, you can find me in the garden, weeding, transplanting, harvesting, drying, tincturing. Um, and in the winter, I usually sit down and study from books, workshops, and courses. So I feel that I embody herbalism both as an experience and also as intellectual knowledge that I collected in the past 11 years. So this is who I am. Beefields Farm is an actual farm. It's not just by name. And it's where I grow my herbs, the local farm. And also it's a base for all my online programs. So let's start. I like to start all my presentation with breathing. So I would ask that you put 2 feet on the ground if you're sitting down. And if you feel comfortable enough doing it, close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. And then let's take a long, deep inhale through the nose. Hold it for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And then let it go through your mouth with a sigh. Let's do it again. Take a long inhale through your nose. Hold it to the count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and let it go. One last time. Inhale through your nose. Hold it. Hold it. 2, 1, and let it go. Open your eyes. And let's talk about the why a little bit. Why do I offer this workshop? I offer this workshop because I believe that my body, my decision is more than just about abortion, right? It's about your right to make informed decision about whatever medical condition you have. But with the right to make informed decision, there is also the responsibility to know how your body works and what it needs in order to support it. So what I'm doing here is giving the power back to you. I'm teaching you what the body needs so you can make the decision. So it's not me telling you what to do. It's not your doctor that is telling you what to do. It's you understanding how your body works and how you can support it in winter. And you decide what to do with the information that I give you. I really ask that you don't follow anything without being well informed, not just because I said, your medical doctor said, your naturopath said, you read it on Google or on Facebook. That's not the way to decide decisions that are so important as your well-being or your kids' well-being or your family well-being. You want to do a thorough research and really understand what's happening and just in your body and what sounds reasonable to you. So let's begin. Taking back the power over your body. Let's meet the immune system and talk about it a little bit. You don't need to know all the small details of the immune system to get an idea of how you can support it. Just in rough picture. So the immune system is made of 4 different layers, but those layers are not separated in the body. We are separating them for layers because it's easier to understand it this way, but in reality, they all work together. So the basic layer, or what we call the physical layer, barrier, is your skin and your mucus. Your skin is a physical barrier. It's kind of wrapped around your body from the outside, but also from the inside. It's the same, we call it epithelial cell, that cover your skin from the outside, go inside and cover your lungs, your gut, your reproductive system, and your urinary tract. Basically, all the places inside the body that come into contact with the outside world. So when you breathe, you bring air from the outside to the lung. So the lungs are wrapped in like inner skin. The same is true for the gut, the reproductive system, and the urinary tract. The mucus is this amazing substance that have a really bad PR. When we think mucus, we think congestion, we think it's a pesky, gooey stuff in our nose or mouth or back of the throat. But actually, mucus is very important for your immune system. It works both as a gooey stuff that trap toxins like dust and pollen and dead cells that fly in the air. And it also traps bacteria and viruses, and then you either sneeze them out, you cough them out, or you swallow them and they will go out with your poop. So mucus is really important for really as a physical barrier, something that traps pathogen and don't let them just enter as it is to the body. The other thing is that mucus actually have immune cell in it, white blood cell, that if bacteria or virus come in, the white blood cell in the mucus can already munch on them and get rid of them before they penetrate the body. So your mucus is doing a lot of hard and important work for you. Remember that the next time you are congested. And the physiological barrier is the pH and temperature of your body. Different parts of your body have different temperature. The digestion is probably warmer than, let's say, the lungs, okay? Different pH and temperature means that it's a different ecology. And in your body, you have different ecologies, they are so different. It's like the Sahara Desert and the Amazon. And different ecology means that different types of ecosystem live there. Different types of bacteria and viruses already live there, and they are welcoming to. They are either excluding some types of bacteria and viruses, but they are also acting as a immune to others. So they are not welcoming to types of bacteria and viruses that cannot live in that temperature or in that pH. The innate immune cell. The innate immune cell is it is made out of two not totally separated immune response. One is the inflammatory response, and the other is the white blood cells, and they work together. Now, when we think of inflammation right now, we usually think of inflammation as a bad thing that happened in our body, because a lot of people in the modern Western culture have problem with chronic inflammation. But acute inflammation is a very beneficial immune response. It happens whenever there is a damage to tissue. What do we see? just think about it, what happens in your body when you have a wound. You have red, you have puffiness, you have a little bit of pain, you have this swollenness, the red and the heat. And what is happening is that the area is producing a lot of energy, and it's recruiting a lot of white blood cell. It's cleaning the area, and it's after it's cleaned, they start to build up the tissue again. So all of that is happening as a good response, as a healing response of the body. And it's an important response. That's what I'm coming to say. That inflammatory response, when it's held within a time limit, is very important response, and it protects the body. The thing with the inflammatory response and with white blood cells is that it's non-specific. That means that those cells are actually able to distinguish between cells that are cells or proteins that belong to the body, that are self, and cells or proteins that do not belong to the body, that are non-self, and they will attack any non-self protein or cell. So they don't recognize specific disease. It's either self or non-self, and they do two main things. When they recognize a cell or a protein that is not part of the body, that doesn't have the ID of the body, they can either munch on it, so metabolize it, destroy it, or they can put a flag on it that say no cell, no self, and have cells of the adaptive immune response come and deal with it. So this is the innate immune response. The adaptive immune response is what I call the SEAL, or the special forces of the immune system. And what's nice about them is that they are born as children, totally naive, not knowing anything. Excuse me. They really are, I'm sorry about that. That's kind of, they are born totally naive. They don't know anything. They don't know how to deal with the disease. But once you get a virus or bacteria into the body, what they will do is they will learn the specific protein of that bacteria or virus, and then they will react to that specific bacteria. And what's wonderful about them, that even after you are healed, they have memory. So that specific bacteria, that specific protein, they will learn its DNA, or they will learn its ID. And whenever you will be exposed to that protein, bacteria or virus, they will be ready for it. So even before you will start having symptoms, they will get rid of it. Their response is so fast because they are ready. They are there to do the work. And you can think about it like with one of the, when I was a kid, when my kids were kids, it was more common, but chickenpox, once you got chickenpox once, you are not going to get it again, because even if you are exposed to chickenpox, you already have the antibodies. That's the idea. Isn't that a great system? I think so. So what really makes an immune system in imbalance? Think about all your body function as something that is balancing between excess or overreaction to deficient. Either they work too much, or they work or they don't work enough. They are weakened. And what you're doing all the time is keeping it kind of the seesaw balanced. When you have an excess of or overreactive immune system, it might manifest as allergies, such as allergies for food or environmental allergies, seasonal allergies, like that. The body is on edge and it's overreacting to every small trigger, because we are all triggered by pollen, but some people go into allergy reaction and some people, their immune system can just deal with it. So if the immune system is overreactive, it will react to food allergies and to allergens altogether more likely. The other thing with excess immune response is an autoimmune disease. In autoimmune disease, the immune system is so overreactive, so confused, that it tends to react instead the body itself. It's so on the edge that it sometimes mistakes cells that belong to the body as foreign cells, as foreign protein, and attack them, and then you get autoimmune disease. So if you think about the thyroid and immune cells, T1 cells from the adaptive immune system can mistake the thyroid to be foreign protein and attack it, and then you get Hashimoto disease. So that's excessive immune response. What happens when you have a weakened or deficient immune response? When you have a weakened of immune response, you basically have a poor healing processes. So you get this cold in the beginning of the winter and you can't just get over it. You all the time continue to be weakened. You all the time carry this cough or this feeling of not being 100% well. You are all the time on the line or on the border of being totally sick. You are not, you're kind of, you're never healed totally. You don't get your energy, you don't get your vitality back, you just feel sick all the time. So that's a deficient immune response. And the idea is how can we balance the immune system? Balance is what makes a healthy immune system, a robust immune system. Okay. Excuse me. There are two basic theories when it comes to the immune system. Most of us are very familiar with the germ theory. It claims that germs, bacteria and viruses enter the body and directly cause a disease. If we kill all viruses and bacteria, we are not going to be sick again. And all the pharmaceuticals is actually working, antibiotic, viral medicine, all of those are working directly in order to kill bacteria and viruses, as if we can ever kill them all. With the idea that if we kill them all, we can all be healthy and live forever. You can also hear already from the sound of my voice that this is not the way I see things. The terrain theory, on the other end, claims that germs are only secondary effect on contagious disease. So do you remember the physical barrier and the physiological barrier? Basically, what it's claim is that when those two are out of sync, when things go wrong in the ecosystem, in the body, then it opens the door to germs to come in. So germs, even if you are exposed to them, cannot settle in your body unless your body is already sick. When your body is out of balance, that's open the door to germs, to bacteria and viruses. So then you are dealing with taking care of the germs and taking care of your immune system. But the best way to prevent prevent being sick, is keeping your terrain balanced. How do we do that? Let's see. So Rudolf Virchow, I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but he was the guy who discovered or put together the terrain theory. If I could live my life over again, I would devote it to proving that germs and the germs, my picture is right here, seek their natural habitat, diseased tissue, rather than being the cause of diseased tissue. Mosquitoes seek stagnant water, but do not cause the pool to become stagnant. And then Henry Ballerin came to the conclusion that germs do not initiate a disease state of the body, but appear later, after the person becomes ill. So if there is one thing that I would like you to take from this workshop, is that it's not what you take, it's what you do. And yeah, it's not about taking herbs, it's not about taking supplements, it's about what you do every day as a lifestyle choices that create a balanced immune system, a balanced ecosystem in your body, or an imbalanced immune system. And shortly, we will start to look at what does it mean to build a balanced immune system or to build a balanced inner ecosystem in your body. So this is my teacher, Thomas Isley. And he inspired, I listened to him talk about the immune system, and he talked about it like a house plant. So if you think about your immune system as if it was a house plant, what does your house plant need in order to thrive? So I suggest that you now stop the video and close your eyes and think for a moment. If your immune system is really a house plant, what does it need? I bet you will find, most people immediately know what their immune system needs when they think about it through those glasses. So I really like this metaphor. So before we continue and talk in details about what your immune system really needs in order to be supported and in order to be balanced and how you can balance your inner ecology, I want to offer this workshop shamelessly, marketing the workshop that I am going to sell this fall, actually right now, right those days. The early bird will be open until registration is open until Wednesday 19, and then the regular registration will be open for one more week, but of course the price will jump between the early bird and the regular. So you really want to make use of the early bird price. What I'm talking about, Recipes and Remedies for Winter Wellness is an 8-week program that will start on December 2nd. Every Monday, we will have about an hour talk, very much like that, but live on Zoom. And on the following week, you will get 2 to 3 reading material that you need to read during that week. No worries if you can't read it during that week. You have lifetime access to the program. So, you know, you will get the recording of the workshops, and you will have all the reading material, and you get a lifetime access to it. You will get this 2-3 reading materials for the week, and on the bottom of the reading material there are links to different herbs that match what we talked about, the conditions that we talked about in the reading. And those herbs, when you read about them, have links to specific recipes. And the idea is that you try to make 1 or 2 recipes a week. And I tell you specifically which recipes we are going to work every week and where you can get all the ingredients. So at the end of the program, you will have a complete medicine cabinet that is made out of herbs, like a herbal medicine cabinet. And you will have the feeling, and that's more important, that you know how to do it. Because in the program, we are going to make top 16, but less, probably 12 recipes during the program. And there are like 30 recipes in the program. But after you experience with my support how to make those 12, you will feel empowered to make the others by yourself. And I'm always will be there to help you. So you get the skill set of what to think about when you think about all the winter woes and disease, and you get the medicine cabinet to go with it. And very importantly, you get a community. So I created a closed community. It functions very much like Facebook group, but it's not on Facebook. It's on Circle. And you all the people that will be in the program get access to it, so they can share their experiences, ask questions, get answers, really function as a community, because community is a very important part of any healing process. So what is the 8 weeks program contain really? It contains a week of welcoming and really explaining the foundation and how to use the program. Then the second week, we are talking about the winter in energetic terms. So in TCM, every season had an energetic and an element that is associated with it. And the winter is associated with water. So we will talk about soups and about tea. And there is a recorded workshop there on how to prepare herbal medicinal tea, and a list of herbs that are good for herbal medicinal tea for the winter. On the third week, we are talking about digestion in the winter, because there is relation between the weather outside and the way your digestion system works. And then you will get a small cookbook for soups and stews. The 4 weeks is about fever. It's a very important topic to understand how fever works, and if you should or shouldn't reduce fever and when. The 5th week is about winter woes. So think about upper respiratory and lower respiratory conditions. We are talking about nasal congestion, drippy nose, sinus congestion, sore throat, cough of all kinds, and bronchitis. Basically, we cover all of them. We'll learn how to understand them as the language of the body, and then how to tackle them. And then there is I didn't count right. Something is wrong in my counting, but there is a model about winter gloom and depression in the winter. So how to tackle that one. So that's the program. And as I said, the early bird is open now for you, so I hope you will join me. But let's hop in and continue this presentation. So what keeps your immune system happy? Let's talk, we go layer by layer and cover that. So the physical barrier, the skin and the mucous membrane, to remind you. The physical barrier really needs water. It needs hydration. The mucus is basically made out of water and salts. So one of the best things you can do for the mucous membrane is to ingest bone broth, because that's water and salt. It's basically very similar for the mucus. But hydration with enough water or herbal tea, not sweetened, is very, very important. Hydration also means fats. The sebum is kind of this oily, fatty thing that cover your skin and prevent it from cracking. And the sebum, it contains substances that are toxic to invasive bacteria. So if your skin is too dry, you don't have enough sebum, you don't have this substance on your body. It's important that you pay attention to the fats that you eat, what types of fats you are eating and using, because that's detrimental for your health. So in the program, I talk really in details about what kinds of fats are pro-inflammatory and what kind of fats are actually anti-inflammatory and can protect your body from inflammation. Topical moistening is also very important. When your tissue is too dry and you see those cracks, that means that there is kind of, it's more permeable. More stuff can go between the crack, and bacteria can actually grow in those cracks and infiltrate, you say? Like kind of go into the body. If you notice, the most pronounced place it's around the finger. A lot of people and the knuckles, a lot of people in the winter get those cracks around the nails and in the knuckles that sometimes actually bleed, and the area become red and irritated and painful. This is an inflamed tissue that happens because of dryness. So you want to moisten topically, but again, you want to use products that are friendly to the body, that are non-toxic to the body. And the molescent herb are important too, and we are going to hop to the molescent herb and explain what they are in just a moment. For the physiological barrier, as we said, the temperature and the pH of the body are very important for keeping a balanced ecosystem in the body. So you want to keep the same pH and the same temperature. You don't want your pH to change in the winter, and you don't want your body temperature to drop. So how do you do it? The pH of your skin is between 3 and 5. So that's slightly acidic. You want to use, and that's discourage certain bacteria from living on your skin and encourage other bacteria, healthy bacteria, to live on your skin. And as we will talk about the microbiome in the gut in a moment, the bacteria that live on your skin constantly, because you have all the time bacteria and virus that live on your skin microbiome, they kind of bought all the real estate on your skin. And as such, they are not going to give other invasive bacteria any way to settle down. They bought all the apartment, and they don't want homeless to come and settle down on your skin. So they will protect you from having other pathogenic bacteria and viruses settling on your skin. But if your pH changes, they they are kind of driven out. They can't live there anymore. And then pathogenic bacteria can come and settle on your skin. So you want to keep your pH stable at 3 to 5 acidity. And you want to use moisturizers that are natural, that are keeping with the skin ecosystem and not making huge changes. You also want to keep it easy for your body to keep the same temperature. In the winter, it's harder for the body to keep the same temperature of 98 degrees. So you do it in two ways. One way is to eat warm food, because digestion is one of the places that needs a lot of energy in order to digest and metabolize. And if you are eating watermelon in the middle of the winter, your body will have a hard time with creating that heat. The same is true to wearing warm, cozy clothes, and especially it's hard for your body to warm the extremities. So you want hat, you want glove, you want socks. Yeah, make it easy for your body. I promised you that we'll talk about the Mulsent herb. What are the Mulsent herbs? The Mulsent herbs are herbs that have mucus building in them. So it's part of the compounds that are already in the plant. And when they are ingested in the body, this mucus is released. And what it does, it's thin the mucus that you already have. So if you have very dry mucous membrane, that could happen in the winter, you could feel it as very dry sinuses, for example. You can have congestion with very dry sinuses, and you will have the feeling like you have buggers all the time and you want to stick your finger in there to clean it up because it's very hard to breathe. The Mulsent herbs will thin the mucus and make it more fluid. It's true again for dry cough. They just will support mucus production and thin mucus. And at the same time, what they do is mucus is always cooling. It's anti-inflammatory because it's cooling. And it's also, if you had hot irritated tissue, because you have inflammation and you have dryness and the tissue become too irritated, the mucus will soothe and calm and cool the tissue, so you will feel better. So think about a sore throat that is very dry. Think about your lungs when you have a very dry cough that is not productive. That's where the Mulsent herbs come to. They are very, very important for the immune system because they enhance the mucus. And we talked about how important the mucus is as the first barrier, as the physical barrier of the body. So those are two demulcent herbs that are really common, found everywhere. Plantain is probably found on your backyard, in your lawn. Plantain is considered a weed. It grows everywhere. You can harvest it if you are not spraying your lawn or using fertilizers. But as a tea, the leaves are very they're kind of mild emulsions. You don't overdo it with them. You can dry and drink the tea. Marshmallow, on the other end, the parts that used are either the flowers and leaf, and those are the emulsions, but they are pleasant. And you can add it to any tea, and it's great emulsions. The root is a much stronger emulsion. So if you cut the root, immediately you will see that it's secrete this gooey substance. And this is great for the mucus. It's very healing. It's really, really good for the immune system. But when you make something with the root of marshmallow, sometimes for some people it's really hard to ingest because it's very gooey drink. The way you make the molson herbs, the way you ingest them is in tea. They have this affinity to water, so you drink them in tea, and some people say only cold infusion, so you let them sit overnight and then drink the tea in the morning. The marshmallow root one will become very slimy. And some people have a hard time with the consistency of it. So try the root and and if you feel like the sliminess it is too slimy, it's too hard for you to ingest it like that, use the leaves and flowers. They are very pleasant to ingest. And you can add them to any type of herbal tea. Okay, let's talk now about the innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. How do you keep those happy? Promoting gut flora, so eating prebiotic. So we talked about the real estate and how taking care of your own bacteria will push out bacteria that is invasive. So the same thing that happened on your skin will actually happen in your stomach. So if you take care of your gut bacteria, and it will settle down in high numbers and high diversity in your gut, then it will push out invasive bacteria. And it's important because 85% of your immune system lives in the gut. So once your gut bacteria is taken care of, you made a huge step toward a balanced immune system. If your gut bacteria is healthy, it's also compete with invasive bacteria over food. So again, it will starve out invasive bacteria. And the third reason to take care of your gut bacteria is to keep your immune system balanced. So this is one of my pet peeve subjects. I can talk about it for hours, but basically we as a race or humanity developed for some say 6 million or 6 billion years with gut bacteria, with the bacteria and viruses around us. And we created relationship of symbiosis with them. So we give them this environment that has a certain temperature, a certain pH, and we feed them. And they, in exchange, keep our immune system balanced. And how do they do that? It's their interest. They are doing it for their own good, basically. Because how come we have bacteria or virus in our body that we don't attack like a known cell? So what they learn to do is to keep our immune system on an edge, alert and awake and ready to do stuff. But they also learned how to calm down our immune system. So they do both things because they don't want our immune system to attack them. And calming down our immune system is a very important function of the immune system. You don't want your immune system to go into an immune response that it is too extreme. You want to keep your immune system alert, but subdued at the same time. One of the things that happened, I remember those stories in the beginning of COVID, is people that passed away because of cytokine storms. So their immune system reacted so much that it shut down all their vital organs. They didn't have the thing that subdued the immune system at the same time. So gut bacteria is doing an amazing job for you by just being there. Take care of it. Eat the rainbow. Like I said before, it's not what you take, it's what you do. And by that, I mean, among other things, the food that you choose to put in your plate. A lot of minerals and vitamins are needed to keep your immune system up, running, and robust. Taking supplements doesn't do it. It's not just what you take, it's what you absorb. And when you take it in the context of food, the body knows what to do with it. The body does not know what to do with vitamins. So some of it, vitamin and supplement as pills. So some of it is absorbed in blood, but not in the same way as what absorbed in the blood through food. So eating the rainbow is important because diversity of food provide diversity of vitamins and minerals. So, for example, vitamin C is found in greens and is very important for immune function. Vitamin A, that is, it is a precursor for immunoglobulin A that prevent bacteria and viruses to attach to your mucus so they can kind of root themselves into your mucus, and you don't want them to actually settle down into your mucus, you want them to be flushed out. And so vitamin A is very important for preventing them from taking old. Vitamin E is found in nuts and seeds and avocados, so those are all healthy fats. And zinc, that many people are taking as supplement, is found in legumes, seeds, and oysters. So you can just eat those on a daily basis and get all your vitamin intake that you need. Vitamin D is a little bit more complex because it's an essential vitamin, so you can't produce it. It doesn't synthesize in the body by itself. You need to take it from the outside, and you get it from sun exposure. The thing is that people that live, usually they say north of Atlanta, but even south of Atlanta, most people are not exposed to enough sun in the day because we usually are dressed and we now don't live outdoors as much as we used to. Then we don't synthesize enough vitamin D. Basically, from October to May, people in the North Hemisphere, that are north of Atlanta, should supplement with vitamin D because the angle of the sun to the earth is such that the body cannot produce vitamin D. And the other thing is that during that time, most of us are wearing long sleeves and coats and hats, and we don't get the skin is not exposed to the sun. But vitamin D is not enough. Research that was released in last April in the United Kingdom, and if you want specifically link to the research, contact me. The research looked into the chances of you catching COVID if you took vitamin D and if you didn't take vitamin D. And they found no correlation. So people that took vitamin D and people that didn't take vitamin D both got COVID in the same percentages. So, and what they thought, the way they explained it was that the sun actually doesn't give us just vitamin D. We get from it a bunch of other light waves lengths, and those are important for the immune system too. So sun exposure is very important. So even if you take vitamin D, take the time to spend time in the sun every day if you can in the summer. Not on a day like that. Actually, it's getting better, but it's really windy out there. But take the time to spend time in the sun. And I can say just in a nutshell that this is related also to affective seasonal disorder, or what we call the winter gloom. Sun exposure to those different length waves of sunlight will help you deal with winter gloom too. Movement and exercise improve your immune system function in a couple of ways. First of all, exercise really stimulates blood flow, and when your blood flow, your immune cells can reach all kinds of places in your body. It's kind of improves circulation. Exercise improves good sleep, and we are shortly going to talk about why good sleep is important for the immune system, and it decreases stress, and we are going to talk about stress in the immune system shortly again. So what's happening when you're stressed? When you're stressed, and stress is one of the things that really reduce immune function, when you're stressed, your body is thinking there is a threat and I need to survive. And all these stress responses actually against something that was developed from the time that we were hunter-gatherer. So the stress response is actually designed to function in a hunter-gatherer world. And stress for the hunter-gatherer world was meeting predator or something. It was physical stress on their life. So the survival instinct was to improve your senses, so you can see and smell, and you can track if something bad is coming your way, and pushing resource also into the muscles, so you can either fight or flight or freeze in the moment and hide very fast. So all the body resources, all the energy, all the blood, nutrition, and oxygen went to the senses and the muscles. What didn't get resources? The immune system, the digestion system, the elimination system, and the reproductive system. So you didn't stop when a saber-toothed lion came to attack you. You didn't stop to create more adaptive immune cells or more white blood cells. You ran like crazy. And that's why when you're under stress, now your body doesn't think, I'm stressed because I don't have money. I'm stressed because the news are overwhelming. I'm stressed because I don't have time. Your body thinks saber-toothed lion, and it reacts in the same way. And for that reason, your immune system is inhibited when you are under stress. Sleep. Sleep is so important, and more of us are having a hard time sleeping a full 8 to 9 hours. And that's what we need for many reasons. When you're asleep, the immune system creates more and more, there is more production of adaptive immune cells. And studies show that people that do not sleep 8 to 9 hours a night are prone to more colds and flu. So create the conditions that help you get a good night's sleep. So now let's talk about 3 herbs that support the immune system. And what I'm doing by doing that is really teaching you that although we say about this herb is antiviral or this herb is good for the immune system, there is more complexity to it than, for instance, with medicine, because herbs are complicated and the way they work in the body is multifaceted. So you really have to understand the herb when you use it. And I'm going to teach you 3 herbs that support the immune system, and let's see what they do. So echinacea is very known. A lot of people use it. There are 2 types of echinacea. I'm talking here about the narrow leaves. Look at the picture of echinacea. that is called echinacea angustulophilia. The other type of echinacea that is called proporea have wider leaves, and medicinally it's less potent. The way to know if your echinacea is actually potent is that when you take it, there is a tingling, buzzing taste on your tongue, on your palate. If it doesn't do that, it doesn't worth the money. What it does is it stimulates the immune system and protective tissue from viruses. And by doing that, you can have viruses settle inside your cell, or they can settle in the connective tissue. When they settle in the connective tissue, it's easier for them to spread in the body from area to area. By doing that, echinacea limit or prevent the spread of bacteria to other areas of the body. It contains alkaloids, and those boost the production of white blood cells. But at the same time, it contains polysaccharides that are anti-inflammatory. So you see how this herb, on the one side, can boost one part of the immune system and subdue another part of the immune system. So that's create kind of balance. And this is something that doesn't happen with medicine. In medicine, you usually have one active ingredient or couple of them, but work in the same way with the same goal. With plant, you have thousands of chemical compounds in them. Some of them we know about, some of them we don't know about, and they all live in the plant in a relative balance. And when they come into our body, they are in a balanced way impact our body. That's why herbs usually have far less, if not none, side effect in the body. Echinacea has a PR as an antiviral, but basically there is no herb that is antiviral. There is no one herb that kills all viruses. So antiviral herbs is not, it's not a real category of herb. We don't know how different herbs work. And yeah, we don't know, each herb work on viruses in a different way. So it's not a category, antiviral herb. But in reality, what the primary thing that echinacea do is a nervine. Nervines are herbs that nourish, relax the nervous system. And by relaxing the nervous system, remember what we said about stress, it stimulates the immune system. It allows the body to de-stress. And we talked a little bit about stress, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but you got the picture. So when would you choose to use echinacea? It's for people that get sick because they are depleted, they are too stressed, they struggle with insomnia, they feel run down, and there is a total burnout. And out of that burnout, this weakness, comes the feeling that they can actually catch a disease at any moment. Everything around them can stimulate an immune response. So that's when you will use echinacea, either when you are depleted or when you travel, because traveling is stressful on the body. So that's echinacea. Astragalus, total different herb. While echinacea you would take either as a preventative when you're depleted or when you have the first sign of disease. Astragalus is something that you will take for a long period of time. So echinacea is more an acute for a short period of time, while you would take care of your stress, because you wouldn't take echinacea when you are depleted and keep on the stressor in your life. You need to take care of your stress. With astragalus, you take it, some people take it from October to May. And why is this? Astragalus increase the T1 helper cells. So those are type of adaptive immune cells that acts against pathogens inside the cells, so not in the connective tissue. And the pathogen that works most inside the immune cell play a little bit with our DNA and bring foreign DNA into our cells is viruses. So in that sense, you can say that astragalus is antiviral too, but it doesn't kill viruses. What it does, it increases T helper 1, and T helper 1 will kill viruses. So you see, it's not the same as allopathic medicine. You need to understand how the herb work in the body. Astragalus traditionally was used in Chinese traditional medicine after a long disease when the immune system was revved up for a long time and now it's depleted. So for people that can catch cold repeatedly, people after medical treatment that subdue the immune system, you can think about chemotherapy. And just when people want to keep a balanced and robust immune system. Astragalus closes the pores of the skin. And if you have a fever, the way your body, not just in a fever, but all the time, the way your body manage the temperature of the body is through opening and closing the pores. When the body becomes too hot, it will open the pores so heat can precipitate. And when the body is too cold, it will close the pores so the heat can stay within. If you have a fever, you want your body to be able, the pores to be able to open. And astragalus close the pores. So traditionally, astragalus was not used when you have fever. It was not used for acute disease. It was used only for the long period of time as preventative. You use the root and you can take 3-4 grams of the root in water, and you want to decoct it at least half an hour. I actually do it for 12 hours. And one of the things, you can add it to your chai and decoct a small chai, or you can put it in your chicken broth or bone broth and cook it with the broth for 12 hours or longer. I do my broth 48 hours and then strain it out and use the broth in food or in as a tea. Astragalus can really, because it's boost the production of T helper 1 immune cells, is not to use when you have an autoimmune disease, because in autoimmune disease, you remember we said that excessive autoimmune disease is caused by excessive immune system cause autoimmune disease. So for people that already have excessive immune system, astragalus is not the herb for them. So don't use it if you have an autoimmune disease. Elder or sambucas. Everybody knows about elderberries, but actually that's a lot of PR. They are just sweet as a berry and taste good. But the part that is really, more reliable as a remedy is the flowers that bloom, I would say 6 weeks before the berries are ready to harvest. Again, it is known as an antiviral herb, but it doesn't kill all viruses. That's not what it does. So let's look at what it does. The flowers of elderberry are diaphoretic. Diaphoretic means that they circulate blood and heat from the center of the body. So if you have a lot of heat in your chest, they will circulate it to the skin, and then the skin pores will open and you will sweat out the fever. That's what they do. They are also acting, the flowers are a good expectorant, so they will have help the body cough out phlegm. And what is phlegm? Phlegm is basically mucus that is in your lung. And when you cough a lot, what it means is that there is a lot of pathogens in your lungs stuck to the mucus, and your body is saying, I want to get rid of it. I want to expel it out. But if the phlegm is too dry or too wet and then heavy, then it's hard for the body to really cough it out. And sometimes you get this cough that is totally unproductive because nothing is coming out. You just cough and cough and cough, and nothing is coming out. That's where elderflower can help you turn an unproductive cough to a productive cough. Elderflowers are also mildly calming and relaxing, and they can help when you have a child or an adult with fever that cannot rest. When you're sick, the two most important things that you can care for a person that is sick is hydration and rest. The body needs all the energy it can get in order to heal itself. So if a child or an adult are irritated and restless, elderflower can be a huge help in allowing this rest that can help heal the body. And this is from herbalist Jim McDonald's that I really admire his work and inspired by him. Elderberry preparations mildly stimulate immune activity and also directly inhibit the influenza virus by inhibiting the virus's ability to invade healthy cells and multiply there. Because of this, elderberry is revered as an antiviral, though we should remember that elderflower acts to support the body immune response to viral infection, and remember that antiviral does not mean kill the virus. The berries inhibit viral reproduction, which is awesome, but doesn't make them an infallible cure for any and all viruses. So remember that herbs are not, they are complex beings, and you want to respect that. And this is a quote that I feel a deep connection with. This is from Wendell Berry from his beautiful book, The Unsettling of America, that sums up what it really means to be a holistic healer and what is a holistic healing. I really want us to take the time and read and listen to this one. Our bodies are not distinct from the bodies of plant and animals, with which we are involved in the cycles of feeding and the intrinsic companionship of ecological system and of the spirit. They are not distinct from the earth, the sun and moon, and the other heavenly bodies. It is therefore absurd to approach the subject of health piecemeal with a departmentalized band of specialists. A medical doctor uninterested in nutrition, in agriculture, in the wholesomeness of mind and spirit is as absurd as a farmer who is uninterested in health. Our fragmentation of this subject cannot be our cure because it is our disease. I want to give it a time because this is really who I am and what I stand for. Your body is an ecosystem, but it also lives in connection to a bigger ecosystem. And doing the work of balancing the inner ecosystem cannot happen without balancing the outer ecosystem. So with all that I said here, you're in the business of health if you are a human being. You're also in the business of farming if you are eating. Take that into mind, reflect on that. What can we do to balance not just the inner ecosystem, but also the outer one? Wow, that was heavy. So let me close by just reminding you that the doors for recipes and remedies for winter wellness are now open for you. And I hope you take the first step to taking, making yourself free, establishing freedom on your body, the right over your body, the freedom to make the choices that come with the responsibilities to learn as much as you can about your body. Because whatever you are doing in the world, you would not be able to do it without your body. And I'm so, so grateful you joined me. I'm so grateful for my body, for enabling me to do what I'm doing every day. Namaste.